That seminar really gave me a lot to think about. I have always been careful with my research work, but now I feel like I need to double check everything.
I know what you mean. It's one thing to be aware of plagiarism, but hearing those stories of careers ruined by a single mistake, the feeling is different when you realize how easily it can happen.
Exactly. It's not always about blatant copy. Sometimes they are sample but copies of 14 to paraphrase correctly, but the consequences are the same.
Right. And in our professions, mistakes, intentional or not, can lead to huge consequences. Imagine an audit gone wrong because someone didn't report correctly numbers. It could mean lawsuits, fines, or worse.
Worse, what could be efforts than highways?
Loss of trust. Once a client or company loses faith in you, it's almost impossible to regain it. That's why ethics and precision are everything in accounting.
I hate that. In engineers, trusting who's are important. If I submit a project based on of the data, it is not whose me reputation on the line people safety called Beatrice.
Wow, I hadn't thought of that in that way. It's very different when you put it like that.
Is, but it also motivates me to be meticulous. Every calculate, every report, if something of it called me a building files or a system malfunction.
It's interesting how much our fields complement each other. You are designing systems for sustainability, and I'm ensuring financial sustainability. Different goals, but we are both solving problems.
Exactly. Triggering energy projects, for example, I can design a solar panel system, but if the numbers don't make sense financially, the project what I had of the ground.
And that's where I come in, analyzing costs, identifying tax incentives, and managing risks. Together, we have both the technical and financial sides covered.
Joke now are resulting work on water treatment project that almost fell apart because of health issues. The tech was solid, but the financing weren't adding up. If someone like Joe had been involved, we might have saved.
Definitely. The budget is the point where many projects run into obstacles. Companies love the idea of going green, but when they see the initial costs, they doubt. Our job will be to show them the long-term benefits and savings.
Exactly. And not cost savings. Think about broad reputation companies that prioritize sustainability attract more customers. People care about where their products come from or they made.
True, there's definitely a business case for sustainability, but it's also about managing expectations. If we promise savings too soon and they don't materialize, it could backfire.
That's a good point. We need to set realistic timelines why we start my like with energy efficient lakes or winds system and the scale up.
I like that. Phased implementations gives us a chance to adjust as we go. Plus, it's easier to secure funding for smaller projects initially.
Exactly. And speak of the and the speak of thing, how do you handle risk? Imagining financial risks are different from the ones ideal would their use as critical.
Oh, absolutely. In finance, risk management is about anticipating what could go wrong, like market changes, regulatory shifts, or even internal issues, and having a plan in place. What about you?
For it, for it's more about environmental risks, things like natural disasters, climate impacts, or unexpected city conditions. We do a lot scenario planning to mitigate those risks.
That's fascinating. We both do risk assessments just from different angles. If we combined our approaches, we could create really good strategies.
I love that idea. For example, if a project faces delays due to environmental reviews, you could help adjust the work to account for the extra times and costs.
Exactly. And if the financial model shows we need that to cut costs, you could suggest alternative materials or methods that still meet sustainability goals.
This way, teamwork matters, and no one can see every angle alone, but headers we can anticipate problems and find solutions that work for everyone.
I totally agree with you. It's like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together.
I love that it's so true, especially in projects where long-term impact is the goal.
Speaking of long term, have you thought about how we could measure success for a project like this?
And definitely with strong environmental metrics like energy saving, waste reduction, and carbon footprint. What about you?
I look at financial performance, return on investment, cost savings, and even intangible benefits like brand value.
So a mix of data for both cities that fall drive a full picture of the project's impact.
Exactly. And having that data would make it easier to replicate the success in future projects.
This thing exiting feel like where we want to sometimes be here.
Same. Let's outline our plan and make sure we cover all the bases.
Agreed. And remember,
If in doubt, cite it.
citate